Hi everyone and welcome back to Saturn Secrets. Today we're doing the tarot predictions for your zodiac sign in August 2021. Hi everyone and welcome back to Saturn Secrets. Today we're doing the tarot predictions for your zodiac sign in August 2021. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for regular astrology and tarot updates. These readings all have extended versions available on Vimeo. If you want to check those out, they are listed below. They're basically a more in-depth look at the tarot and astrology predictions for your sign in August 2021. Don't forget to check out your sun, moon and rising for these predictions. Timestamps are listed below. As usual, these are general readings, so if they don't resonate, they're not for you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and I hope you enjoy the video. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Aries, welcome to your August 2021 tarot predictions. So Aries, one of the main things that was coming up for you is the impact that this month will have on your intuition. We have the High Priestess and the Instinct card. Right off the bat, a lot of you are going to be more interested in spirituality, in the process of manifestation in your relationship with the universe. A lot of you could be getting into spells. A lot of you could be practicing rituals with the full moon. A lot of you could be figuring out what manifestation process works for you in terms of creating your next step in life, particularly as far as your work and career go. With the Magician and the Mirror being your oracle card, a lot of you are going to be figuring out this month how to step into your own power and manifest from a point of personal power and personal wisdom on the next part of your life professionally. For a lot of you, we have a stellium in Virgo, meaning that your work house is lit up with helpful people. With Venus being in Virgo, you're likely to get the assistance of people who can offer you some sort of help as far as work goes, but also as far as healing goes, looking after your physical well-being and your health and fitness. Because with so much energy in Virgo, a lot of you are figuring out how to balance your mental health and your physical well-being, so looking after your mind, body and soul. And for a lot of you, you have been doing a lot of work on your physical body. So a lot of you could have been working out a lot, eating really particularly. You could have followed a very strict diet, or you could have had health and fitness goals. But the cards are urging you to balance that out, because in astrology we have opposite signs for a reason, and oppositions can of course cause friction, but they can also cause balance. And with the High Priestess and the Instinct card here, a lot of you need to bring a little bit more spiritual practice into your life. Something as simple as meditating for 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening is going to help you feel more balanced. And also for a lot of you, if you're trying to manifest a job or a contract or some kind of physical results, this is a wonderful month to do it, because with Mars going through your 6th house, you're more likely to put in the actual action and the work. That's usually where Aries is really, really good at manifesting. They put in the action, but your cards are saying this month, make sure that you're spiritually aligned, because there will be oppositions between Neptune in your 12th house. Neptune rules your 12th house. And there will be oppositions between that and the Virgo placements. So Mercury, Venus and Mars. And then later on in September, the Sun will oppose Neptune in your 12th house. And with Neptune in your 12th house, the more that you embody this energy and balance out your physical well-being, your work life, your routine, as much as you are doing great at that, you need to embody some sort of spiritual practice. And I think for a lot of you, it's meditation, especially with the White Tarot card, sensitivity. For a lot of you as well, with Mars going through the 6th house, you might be experiencing allergic reactions or some sort of flare-up in terms of your health or a condition. And this may be, again, to do with a lack of spiritual practice. So maybe something as simple as grounding, putting your bare feet on the soil. With the 6 of Pentacles and the High Priestess, a lot of you are also manifesting in August a spiritual teacher. This could be that you're going to learn how to read the tarot yourself, or you're going to learn about astrology, or you're going to get really good spiritual advice. So maybe for some of you, You're going to be getting a reading done with somebody who can give you really important advice or next steps on your journey. With the Magician in the Mirror, a lot of you are stepping into your power, especially as this is the number 8, the 8th of August. It's 53, 5 and 3 add to 8 in case you wonder what I was doing there. The 8th of August may be a very significant date for you in terms of manifestation. So that will be happening in your 5th house of love, happiness, romance and pleasure. So for those of you that want to manifest more love in your life, this is something that's going to be coming from a place of within. You know, the Magician is about the world being reflected back at you depending on what's feeling inside. So because he's the Magician, he has the power, but because it's the Magician and the mirror represents all the energies of the universe reflected back at you. So if you want to manifest love, happiness, passion, pleasure, or a hobby that really makes your heart sing this month, Aries, the new moon in Leo, the Lion's Gate, is the time to do it. I do think for a lot of you, you're particularly sensitive to the moon cycles as well. We have the full moon here with the Instinct card, and because there's going to be a full moon happening in your 11th house. I don't know why I said 8th house, that's interesting. A full moon in your 11th house. This is going to be a time where you really have to trust your instincts as far as friendships go, as far as the networks and the teams that you're a part of. I think a lot of you could have around this time decided to move away from a particular friendship or a particular group of people or a particular team. You could be distancing yourself, but really whatever came up for you with the full moon in July around friendships, there could be more information coming to the fore. So maybe a friend confided in you about something. I do feel like there will be a lot of people wanting to confide in you, Aries. And in particular, you have a friend who is quite private and not very good at opening up that really wants to talk to you specifically. So for a lot of you, you could be getting secrets from other people. They could be sharing their secrets rather than them revealing secrets against you. But I do feel like with the full moon in Aquarius towards the end of the month on the 21st, 22nd, you're going to be realizing that someone in your friendship group or your team, there's going to be news from them that they may be confiding in you, or that they might be trying something new, or that there could be a significant change in their life. But there's a lot of friendships will want your attention, Aries. And I do feel like if something started to come out with the Aquarius full moon at the end of July, there might be more to the story that's going to evolve, especially if it surrounds a team, network or friendships, or maybe even news surrounding the internet. Similarly, if you're an Aries who works in social media, as a spiritual person, or you're in a teaching capacity, or you're in some sort of high priestess like career, maybe you're a healer, maybe you're into psychic knowledge, or maybe you've been studying a lot in private, there is going to be some sort of help offered, or some sort of recognition offered, or some sort of reward offered. It's also letting you know, Aries, that if something has not come about as quickly as you would have liked to, it's because it's not the right time. It's not fully developed. And there's a reason for this. I think that it's because there's something within you that needs to be addressed first. And I do think it's pushing a lot of you towards some sort of spiritual practice. And I think for many of you, it's actually manifestation. I think manifestation and meditation. I feel like you need to incorporate these more into your day-to-day, and then you'll see movement, particularly meditation. And being grateful for where you are is something that's kind of coming up for you with this. The more that you are still and practice patience, the more that whatever it is that you're waiting on to happen is going to start moving. So if you're feeling like there's a particular area of your life that is blocked, Aries, it could be that it is linked to your routine not having enough spirituality in it, or perhaps needing a little bit more balance in one of the two areas. But in terms of your health and your fitness goals, a lot of you are going to be pushing yourselves really hard. But I will say, if you push yourself too hard, you could end up hurting yourself or getting a flare-up of something. And the best way to achieve that is balance, because with the High Priestess, we have the dark and the light, knowing when to act and knowing when to rest, knowing when to pursue, knowing when to wait, and appreciating that everything has light and dark to it. So it's important to understand that there is behind the scenes energy for you coming up around this time, as much as you're acting, and your action is important and it will pay off in the long run, Aries. So let's roll the Astro dice and see what we have for you. Okay, so we have the 8th house. That's interesting because that popped up earlier when I said that accidentally. Okay, we have the South Node, we have Virgo, and we have the 8th house. So for a lot of you with the South Node, there is likely to be, with the Virgo placements, there is likely to be a lack of balance in some area. Some of you might have the North and South Node in the 6th and 12th houses. Maybe some of you are noticing that you are constantly trying to balance out your routine and your practical details with spirituality. But I think for a lot of you, because it's the South Node with Virgo, this is actually asking you to move away from being so practical or being so detail oriented or even perfectionist, because it could be something that is not going to get you the results you want, particularly with the 8th house. The 8th house rules psychology. So some of you could be leaning more towards learning about psychology, learning about astrology. You could be learning about conspiracies and things like that, just really opening up your mind to something a little bit different or outside of your comfort zone. I'm not saying for you to act on it, but it's definitely asking you with the South Node and Virgo to move away from things being so detail oriented and so hyper focused on health, fitness, work, schedule and results. It's asking you to really push into what would be the opposite of this, which would be the North Node and Pisces, which would be to lead with a spiritual sense, a compassion for self, transcending the ego, and really leaning into healing yourself or working on the more yin energy. Because at the minute, I think a lot of you are very yang oriented, pushing for action, pushing for results, and not taking time to pause and reflect. So there will be an extended part of this, Aries. If you want to join me there, it'll be linked below. Have a beautiful month, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to your August 2021 tarot scope. So Taurus, your cards are really intriguing. I must say, I love the fact that the Empress has shown up for you, because this is your energy. This is Venus, and this month Venus is going to be going through your 5th house of love and romance, and then it's going to be moving into your 6th house towards the end of the month, which is its other home sign of rulership. I know that Venus rules you, but it also rules Libra. So one of the things that's coming up for a lot of you, Taurus, is popularity. You're going to be really popular this month, particularly with romantic interests. So if you're single, you're really going to be attracting people to you. And one of the reasons you're going to be attracting people to you so much is because of the Temperance card. A lot of you have been taking some serious steps as far as your healing go, because with Chiron going through Aries, your 12th house, a lot of you have been more interested in how to heal yourself from the inside out. With the Mother Mary card, some of you have been more spiritual, some of you have been learning how to heal yourself within, maybe even healing ancestral karma here with the 10 of Pentacles. But a lot of you have been trying to find more balance between what gives you money, what gives you sustainability, what gives you accolades, legacy, and what makes you feel happy and nurtured and safe. Because interestingly for you, Taurus, we have so much emphasis at the minute on your 4th and 10th house, which I see here with the Empress card and the 10 of Pentacles and Temperance in the middle, meaning that you are becoming incredibly good at balancing your home and family life. You're becoming incredibly good at looking after your money, working out what you're spending, how to make money. You're working out what your legacy is, what career path you want to take. If a lot of you have felt stuck in these areas, this is a month where you're going to experience some push forward, some momentum, and you're going to become unstuck as we move away from the Saturn-Uranus square that is kind of pushing the fixed signs out of their comfort zone and really pushing them to change. And this month we're also going to be experiencing a lot of trines between Uranus and your sign and the Virgo placements, which is why in particular, Taurus, you're going to look so good. You're going to be so appealing to other people. With the Empress here, there's going to be a lot of people find you incredibly attractive at an energetic level and a physical level. It's going to attract friendships, relationships, romantic prospects. You're going to be getting on better with people in your family, particularly as we move away from the new moon in Leo. There's going to be a new start there, a fresh start where you can see what energies need to be balanced out. So it is likely, Taurus, because of the astrology, there could be some extreme as we move into the month, but a lot of you are going to figure out with that extreme energy where one part of your life is lacking and needs a little bit more attention, and where one part of your life needs to take the foot off the pedal. But for a lot of you, in terms of career success, especially if you're in something that is artistic. It could be fashion, it could be design, it could be photography, you could be working with children, some of you could be therapists, some of you could be healers, some of you could be counselors as well, some of you could be doctors. But wherever this is, a lot of you are going to be finding more career success this month with the Aquarius full moon at the end of the month, because it is going to be a blue moon. And I think with a lot of you, with Temperance and the Ten of Pentacles, you're feeling more secure. I think a lot of you are going to be feeling after this month more financially secure, more stable in your family life, your home life. A lot of you are going to be feeling more abundant. I think for a lot of you, you could be attracting big money, which is interesting. Because the South Node is going through Sagittarius and the North Node is going through Gemini. So the nodes are to do with your money at the moment, and with the North Node being in Gemini, it's going to be trining Venus, your ruler, this month, meaning that you could be coming into some money or finding a new way of making money for yourself without, with the South Node there, you're maybe not leaning as much into joint financial matters, and you could be moving yourself away from anything that is draining your finances. With the grief card and the Mother Mary card, I think for a lot of you, you could be experiencing some I won't say, but you could have some heart chakra blockages of some kind. I think a lot of you could be feeling quite hurt by somebody in your life. A lot of you could have been hurt by a past love that is still lingering. A lot of you could have some unresolved childhood trauma where you don't feel like you're enough, and maybe the romantic offers you're receiving, or maybe the attractions that are coming to you, or people offering their heart to you. Maybe a lot of you with Venus in the 5th house are seeing where your heart chakra is blocked, because when Venus goes through the 5th house, it's very easy to see where how easy it is for love to come in. And for a lot of you, you could be realizing, if it's not, that you have some kind of fear there. You feel like you're not enough, or you feel like you're not good enough. One of the things that's coming up with the strategy card and the grief card is that a lot of you need to start journaling your feelings, writing them down, figuring them out. Putting them to paper is a wonderful way to get in touch with your emotions and seeing how you really feel, because sometimes when it's all in your head, it sort of gets stuck there, it becomes glued, and you can't make sense of your own thoughts or feelings. And for a lot of you, it wants you to write down these feelings and release them, particularly around the Aquarius full moon. If you have imposter syndrome, or you feel like you're not worthy of the attention you're receiving, or the money you're receiving, or the love you're receiving, if you're having that issue. For others of you, it could be that with the miracle card and the strategy card, a lot of you are manifesting through pen to paper. You're writing down your goals. I do think that psychology has shown that if you write down your goals, you are more likely to achieve them, not even just in a spiritual or metaphysical sense, but in a literal sense, because you're more motivated, you're more practical, and you're more clear on what it is that you want. So one of the things that's coming up for you, Taurus, this month is get really clear on what it is that you want, especially in terms of home matters, family, and your career. A lot of you could also be manifesting changes to your living space. Some of you could be investing in doing up your living space, maybe decorating. Some of you could have a new roommate. Some of you could have somebody moving out, but a lot of you could be changing up your actual living space with new furnishings and getting nice items of furniture or decoration that's going to improve your overall home's feng shui. And the more you pay attention to your living space, the more blessings are going to come into you. I think for a lot of you, you might have to declutter a little bit though. Taurus is a sign that can accumulate a lot of stuff, and I think some of you with the grief card you could actually be holding on to items because you are afraid of letting go of a memory, or it could be that you're holding on to too much stuff to keep you in this feeling of security that is not allowing other energy to come into your life and is becoming stagnant or stuck. So some of you might be decluttering your wardrobe, your items, getting rid of old stuff that doesn't work for you, selling it on Vinted, or taking it to a charity shop or a thrift store if you're in the States. I think it's the same thing. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of you for sure are manifesting this month in a really positive way, and I do think it is because of Uranus and Virgo linking Uranus in your sign linking to the Virgo placements, especially your ruler Venus. Now Mars rules your relationships, and that is going through your 5th house as well, which adds to this attractiveness. You're coming across really hot and passionate to other people, and you're also a bit bolder in asking for what it is that you want. I feel for a lot of you there is this ask and it is given energy surrounding you. Maybe you're reading that book, but a lot of you need to know this month, Taurus, that if you don't ask, you don't get. Some of you could also be quite concerned about a pet or a family member for some reason. You could be feeling quite concerned about somebody in the home. A lot of you could have to leave something behind, or you could be sorting through stuff and you could realize you're still quite hurt over something. I do feel like there's this unprocessed feeling of grief, so some of you could be feeling grief at this time. But with the Mother Mary card, it's interesting that this reminds me of Paul McCartney's song Let It Be, where he sings Mother Mary Comes to Me, and I think that wasn't meant to be religious. It can be interpreted as such, but I think his actual mother was Mary and she appeared to him in a song. And with the Empress card and the Mother card, a lot of you could be feeling a spiritual connection or getting signs from a female figure, a mother that's passed or a grandmother that's passed, or you could be learning more about your ancestry, and that could be something that's quite healing for you. A lot of you could also be healing your relationship with the mother, or maybe your own children this month, or putting more attention towards that. But it's very likely, Taurus, that if you want to manifest career success, financial success, or something to do with the home, this is a great month to do it. So we have the North Node in Sagittarius in the 8th house. So the North Node shows us where we need to go. And with the Sagittarius energy, it's asking you to be open, it's asking you to be bold, and it's asking you to be adventurous. It's also asking you, Taurus, to learn more about psychology, because we have the 8th house there as well, to learn more about astrology or psychology, or also intimacy. I think one of the things that's coming up for you with the Empress and the Temperance is that there's going to be, if you're in a current relationship, a lot of chemistry, a lot of passion there. And so with the 8th house, we often see intimacy in the occult, we see closeness with other people, especially if you're dealing with a Sagittarius. I feel like there's a lot of closeness there, because Sagittarius came up with a Temperance card too, but it could also be Libra or Taurus. But I think a lot of you have a Sagittarius in your life that is part of your destiny in some way, where you're meant to merge. Either you're meant to be in business together, or you're meant to be in a relationship together, or you're meant to share in some capacity in this lifetime. But I do think for a lot of you as well, with the North Node in Sagittarius in the 8th house, some of you could be planning a trip that is going to be very spiritually changing for you. It could be something that is linked to foreign affairs, foreign travel. You could be getting news from overseas that changes your destiny in some way, or you could be making a plan to move or planning a trip that could actually impact you quite greatly. So that is what I have for you, Taurus. I will see you next time. I got confused there. There is an extended in the description box below for this reading that goes more in depth into the tarot cards. It's a more in-depth, more personal spread based on the astrology and the tarot. So if you want to join me there, that's linked below. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Gemini, welcome to your astrology and tarot reading. So Gemini, your cards are telling a very unusual story. We have the King of Swords, Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. Now, since last year, the North Node in Gemini has been going through your 1st house, which means that you are leading your destiny with a different sense of self. You have had eclipses there that have been changing you profoundly, whether that is changing your image, changing the way that you view yourself, changing the way you talk to yourself, changing the way that you show up in the world, changing how independent you are, changing the way that you deal with certain things. It really is changing your personality to match with your destiny. When the North Node goes through our 1st house, it's when we can gain more independence in life, more clarity of who we are. But because there's eclipses there, a lot of the time this shift can feel really chaotic. Now, the dust has settled from eclipses in August, but I think this is a time when you're starting to realize just how things are actually working out for you. And there is some element of destiny and karma to it, because we have Mat, the fairness card, and the 6th chakra, which is Archangel Metatron, meaning that for a lot of you, you're getting these really interesting insights into who you're becoming and what your destiny entails. For a lot of you, your spirit animal this month is the butterfly or the white dove. A lot of you could be finding white feathers in places, letting you know that profound change is happening within and letting you know that you're being protected at this time. I think a lot of you could also be having, as Uranus is activating with Saturn and Uranus is activating with the Leo placements this month, a lot of you could be having really interesting insights into the future, maybe clairvoyance, maybe clairaudience, something to do with your psychic senses is picking up this month. I think a lot of you could also be experiencing profound inner change in terms of people in your life and how you view certain situations from the past. I think a lot of you could have been dealing with somebody in your life that was maybe a father, or this could be an ex-relationship. This could be someone you're estranged with or someone who's passed over, but a man in your life who was very intellectual, someone who was very smart, somebody who really led with their mind. They were quite knowledgeable. And I think a lot of you are figuring something out from that situation, either advice that they had left you with or either profound wisdom that you learned from the experience. But there's something about this where I feel like you're getting ready to move into the next step, feeling more empowered because of this situation. Now, this might have been for some of you with the King of Swords and the Ten of Swords. This might have been someone that hurt you a lot. A lot of you could have been in past relationships with someone who was very cold, someone who was very cruel, or someone who was maybe narcissistic or sociopathic or cold in some capacity, that has really impacted a lot of you and how you love or how you show up in the world with passion. For a lot of you, it's unresolved grief with the Ten of Swords here. And it's something that has been as an energy that existed in your mind and the way that you perceived yourself or the way that you showed up or communicated. A lot of you have been processing this. Now, because the South Node's been going through Sagittarius, I think for a lot of you, it could have been a past relationship. But with the Knight of Swords coming in quick here, I feel like a lot of you are going out the other side of a period of healing where you maybe didn't believe in yourself, or you maybe didn't feel smart enough, you maybe didn't feel like you deserved your success, or you maybe still question your success, or you question your direction in life. And I feel like with the Knight of Swords, a lot of you this month are just ready to go, because with the Knight of Swords in passion, see a lot of movement, see a lot of quickness, a lot of speed happening in your life, a lot of bravery and a lot of bravado. And for a lot of you Gemini, there's a clear message that something was a breakdown to break through in your life. This could have been something that still affects you to this day that happened a long time ago, but you are ready to take the reins on the next chapter in your life. For a lot of you, there could be legal matters that are resolved in a fair and just manner. For a lot of you with the 6th chakra, a lot of you could be waking into a new way of practicing spirituality, a new way of interacting with your intuition. And for many of you as well, there's this really clear message with the King of Swords and the Ten of Swords that this time around you can trust your intuition. Sometimes people have to go through an experience in life where they didn't trust their intuition to know that it exists, to know that they have it, and to know that it is always listening and usually pointing you in a direction. If something feels bad this month, if you get a gut feeling that something isn't right, it probably isn't, though it's not necessarily exactly how you interpret it as such. It might be that there's more to the picture. Now, with the Aquarius full moon happening at 29 degrees, for you Gemini, this is to do with your 9th house, your belief system. A lot of you are finally letting go of a belief, a deeply held belief or a long-standing belief that does not suit you at all anymore. It's not about where you're going. It's not in alignment with your true purpose, and you have to let it go in order to get the gifts from Jupiter, which will be higher education, wisdom. For a lot of you, you could be thinking of going back to school or studying something you've always wanted to study. A lot of you could get really passionate about something in your life, and the more excited you feel about this new passion or this new thing that's coming towards you, the more obvious it is that this is something that is actually meant for you. For some of you, it is the law. Some of you could be deciding to go study law or learning more about the law, or some of you could be learning about social justice, human rights, and you could be finding yourself really drawn to these topics and getting really passionate about it. It's also likely for a lot of you in your life that you could be attracting into your life really interesting people to talk to, educated people, people that have interesting points of views, interesting perspectives. And this could be something that really makes you feel very fulfilled and very excited, because Venus, the planet of love, is going into Libra, Gemini, which is your 5th house of love, romance, happiness and pleasure, and it is going to trine the true node in your sign, meaning that you could be meeting people romantically that you can feel really passionate about on an intellectual level. You could be finding people are coming into your life, Gemini, that really make sense for you. There's a compatibility there. They open your mind, they expand your consciousness, or whatever this is, and you're finding that there is a clear sense of, oh, this could go somewhere if you're single. If you're in a relationship, a lot of you could be experiencing with the true node in your sign connecting with Venus that you have ideas for your partnership with the Fairness card there. For a lot of you with the Fairness card, I think a lot of you could be experiencing trust issues with somebody in your life because of past experiences, and if that is the case, pay more attention to how you feel with the person, how you feel about them with the 6th chakra card there. Your intuition isn't going to lie to you, Gemini. So if you're having trust issues from the past, notice with the Fairness card, it's very likely that this time is different, but you might need to listen to intuition and know that it is actually working for you this time. So I'm going to roll the Astro deck and see what we get. Astro deck, Astro dice. Ooh, the South Node in the 12th house and Pisces. Wow. Ooh, there's a lot of intuition going on with you this month, Gemini. Some of you are going to be having full-blown psychic experiences. I mean, seeing things out of the corner of your eye, even especially if you're not into this sort of, well, you're probably into this sort of thing if you're watching this, but even if you've not experienced it before, a lot of you are having really interesting dreams, maybe prophetic dreams. Some of you are also having nightmares, I think, that are trying to alert you to some healing that you need to do. In the book Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, one of the things they talk about with dreams is that sometimes you can have a nightmare as a warning that your dominant thought is towards that, or your subconscious is wired that way, and that you're at risk of manifesting something like that in your life. Like, I'm not talking about a zombie, but it could be that you're having, say you had a nightmare about a zombie, it could be that you feel like something hasn't ended in your mind despite ending long ago, or it could be that your dreams have some really clear messages, Gemini, that are actually really important for you to take note of. So get a dream journal this month, or pay attention to your dreams. Some of you could also have psychic dreams that are prophetic in nature, or some of you could have visitation dreams where someone from the past that has deceased, that is deceased, appears in your dream. Especially for some of you, I think it's an older gentleman figure, but with the old lady here, obviously it could be an old woman. Our options are kind of limited in that. But I think for many of you, it is definitely an older figure that you had a really strong rapport with, that taught you something, that taught you a skill, that taught you a trade, that taught you wisdom, or taught you how to be who you are. And there is some sort of feeling or intuition coming up around this person that is going to be significant for you. There's a significant message in your dreams this month, Gemini, that you really need to pay attention to. You could also be experiencing something very significant with a Pisces sun, moon or rising, who may open you up spiritually, or who may be part of your destiny in some capacity. But I also think with the true node and the 12th house, a lot of you could be deciding to take a path that is based in healing. So some of you could be deciding, say you're at university with that 9th house full moon, you could be deciding to take a path that is to do with medicine or nursing, working in hospitals or institutions, maybe even working in prisons, maybe working in the justice system. Some of you could be finding a new interest in these areas that are 12th house in nature. It also means that some of you, Gemini, could be deciding that you want to have some time to yourself to rest, or you could be taking a trip that is going to open your mind in some capacity, because the 12th house can be distant, far away lands as well. So there is an extended part of this, Gemini, linked below. We go into the individual zodiac signs you could be dealing with, clarify the cards, get into it more in depth, that sort of thing. I will see you there, and if not, I will see you soon. Bye. Hi Cancer, welcome to your tarot reading for August 2021. So Cancer, one of the things that is coming up most prominently for you is that you may be wondering about something that you let go of, maybe from a long time ago. Maybe it was surrounding the full moon in Aquarius. Some of you are considering something you have already left, or you're considering leaving something behind. If you have already left something behind, Cancer, and you're wondering if you should have done this, or if something in your life ended that you felt should not have ended, or you have some regret or remorse or sadness surrounding the ending of a situation in your life, or something that was a choice of yours, the cards are saying that this was actually something that was meant to happen. The reason for that is because the North Node has been going through your 12th house of endings and closure. And this doesn't mean that everything in your life ends, absolutely not, but it's where you have unresolved issues internally, say in your subconscious. Maybe you have an anxiety issue, or you have a fear of something, or you have past regrets or past mistakes. When the North Node is going through your 12th house, a lot of the time it can give you these instincts to leave things behind that aren't working for you. It can sometimes cause exits in your life, or it can cause you to leave maybe somewhere you live. You can just decide to move, or you can decide that you want to leave behind a particular person or anything like this, maybe a particular job. But what this is saying, Cancer, is that anything that ended that you sort of wonder about, or maybe you're looking back on and thinking, maybe I should have given this a go, the cards are saying absolutely not, keep going, because with the 8 of Cups and the recovery card, some of you had to leave something behind in order to recover, in order to heal, in order to work through something that was going on within you. Because with the 8 of Cups, we then have the 3 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles, meaning that anything you had to leave behind, especially as we have so much in your 8th house, Cancer. Now that Jupiter's back there, Saturn's doing a long stay there, and we've had 2 consecutive full moons there, a lot of you have been experiencing profound change as it is, and sometimes profound change can be quite scary. We often find with Saturn going through the 8th house that there can be some kind of ending in your life from something that was maybe long established but really wasn't good for you psychologically. And the reason these things have to end is so that you can find people, organizations, teams, you can find places, neighborhoods that are much better for you and much more supportive. So I think for a lot of you, if something ended that you maybe have a bit of a question mark over, but it was so that you could meet people that are more like-minded and more like you. And it's very likely with the 3 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles that in August you're going to be working on building your confidence. So this might be because you had to leave something behind. A lot of you could have started a new job or started a new relationship that's taking time to build. There's something in your life that involves other people. It involves skills, it involves projects, it involves a bit of work, and I think for many of you, beginner's luck in some capacity. But it is something that's going to give you a lot of confidence in the long run. And we can see that with the Aphrodite card, Inner Goddess, Cancer, where you're going to be feeling more confident, more self-empowered. You're going to be feeling so much better about yourself if you've had to make a journey or make a trip, or something has ended, or you're experiencing a loss of some kind. You're really going to be tapping into more self-empowerment and really working on your confidence and your personal power this month, especially with the 9 of Pentacles. And if you are thinking that you're really unhappy in a job, or you're really unhappy in a particular lifestyle choice, it's a good time to actually start looking for something, Cancer, because you might see something pop up that could actually be quite good for you and your skill set, or might even be a little bit more money for you. With the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles following, it's letting you know that sometimes, although chapters closing can be difficult or can be upsetting, oftentimes we see in hindsight why this had to happen. And I think for a lot of you, it's because you were not appreciated somewhere, or you weren't feeling particularly in alignment with that place anymore, and you couldn't force it. For some of you, you've been visiting your childhood home, or you've been thinking about where you grew up, or you've just been thinking about the past in general. And I do think with the full moon in Aquarius at 29 degrees, some of you are ready to see what the lesson was. Because with the 8th house, it's not only where we experience death and rebirth, it's where we merge on an intimate level. And sometimes you can find yourself wanting that intimacy, but without solid foundations, it can't work. So sometimes you have to make adjustments, or you have to try something new, or you have to take time to build something first. So I do think for a lot of you, there seems to be this era of you were disappointed in something that has come to pass, or maybe exited with the full moon, or maybe you just felt a little bit of past experiences come back to the surface, or just these unexplainable feelings, maybe of jealousy, maybe of regret, maybe of remorse, maybe of fear. And I think for a lot of you, August, because it's so focused on your 2nd and 3rd houses, is going to be about establishing new foundations for yourself, as far as your relationships go, as far as your money goes, as far as your finances go, as far as the people you associate with. One of the things that's coming up for you as well, Cancer, is be very mindful of who you spend most of your time with, because it does impact you. Do you feel like they're supportive? Do you feel like they really see who you truly are? Do you feel like they adore you for who you are? With the inner goddess card, Aphrodite, I think a lot of you are going to be really stepping into your own power and your own confidence this month. And not only is that going to make you very sure of who in your life is supporting you, but I actually think it's going to attract more support to you. I think that there's maybe some people in your life that really want you to see your value and want you to see your worth, because something has been out of balance here with the yin and the yang card. And it is telling you, Cancer, that where you are putting in too much emotion, it's time to put in some action. Or where you're putting in too much action, it's time to put in some more emotion. There needs to be a balance in place. Maybe you are experiencing too much yang energy, too much push, too much need to grind, to make money, to work hard, and you need to balance it out with more alone time, more nurturing, more care. But for you, I have to say, because you're a Cancer, sometimes it can be that there is an over exaggeration of the yin energy, which is the more emotional, and you have to balance that out. In order for you to balance that out, Cancer, you have to use the Capricorn energy, which is setting goals for yourself. Your cards really want you to set a clear goal and pursue it, because sometimes the 8 of Cups isn't about endings. It can be about pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals. And I do see for a lot of you that if you decide to pursue your goals and you decide to ask for help and accept help from other people, you're going to achieve them so much quicker. One of the things that's also coming up for you with the yin and yang card and the goddess card, a lot of you could be with the Venus-Pluto trine that's happening this month, especially as Pluto's in your 7th house and Venus is in your 3rd with the 3 of Pentacles here. A lot of you could be finding, if you're single, somebody in your neighborhood, or a friend of a friend, or someone through a local community. You could be meeting somebody through school. There could be somebody at school or your education, or through a class, or through a what else would be the 3rd house? Through a sibling even. Your sibling could introduce you to somebody. Or it could just be somebody that really loves talking. It could be social media as well. But with the Aphrodite card and the yin and yang, some of you could be meeting someone who really balances you out this month. If you're looking for somebody to date, the stars are quite in favour of that, as it is if you're looking for someone who you can find romance with, who would maybe be your opposite. It's actually saying to you that maybe you might find love with someone who is your opposite, who's not really, like you. Or it could be that with the Aphrodite card and the yin and the yang card, if you've been experiencing turbulence in relationships, especially with the recovery card, the answer becomes clear. But it looks like a lot of you are experiencing with the Aquarius energy profound change on a psychological level, but also dabbling in things like the occult or astrology, or having some psychological breakthroughs. Now that sounds intense. It doesn't sound intense, I suppose, if you have planets in the 8th house. I have an 8th house stellium, so when I say it, it sort of just rolls off the tongue, and I forget that other people can think, what does that mean? It genuinely, it doesn't mean anything scary. It can just mean that you have really profound insights into your own mind and how it works. So with the Aphrodite card, the recovery card, and the Nine of Pentacles with the 8th house, you could actually find a really good therapist or a really good astrologer this month. Somebody who can pinpoint whatever issue it is that you need to work on so you can have a breakthrough, especially around the full moon in Aquarius. So let's roll your Astro Dice, Cancer, and see what we get. Ooh. Okay, so we have the North Node. And we have the 2nd house, and we have Taurus. This is interesting. Okay, so for a lot of you with that 9 of Pentacles, the North Node, 2nd house, and Taurus, a lot of you need to focus on your money. You need to focus on your finances. This is, of course, if you watch my astrology video, this is your season of money, of income, and of your 2nd house, which is ruled by Taurus. And with the North Node here, it's saying to you, Cancer, focus on your money. You can have great ideas this month to improve your finances, to improve your financial situation, to make money, to create a side hustle. A lot of you are going to be stepping into more confidence, which is the 2nd house as well, seeing your self-worth. And a lot of you could be getting help from a Taurus, because the Aphrodite card is also like the Empress, which is Taurus. Some of you could be dealing with a Taurus person or someone with a lot of 2nd house placements. But I do see for a lot of you, there could be big money this month. That's one thing I really need to tell you. There could be big money with the 9 of Pentacles here. Your financial situation is improving. Some of you are going through financial recovery as well. So keeping your finances in check, maybe setting on the new moon in Leo manifestations of how to manifest more money into your life, more financial well-being, also more confidence, more security, and more maybe a salary increase is something you could be getting as well. And maybe if you're leaving a job, you could be getting a higher salary, Cancer. So that's what I have for you. There's an extended listed below. It goes into the cards more in depth. It draws more cards. It looks at the other individual zodiac signs you could be dealing with this month, and it's just a more in-depth look at this reading because I don't have the time to do really long ones in this video, but that is what I have available, Cancer. So I will see you soon. Bye. Hi Leo, happy birthday Leo! Welcome to your August 2021 birthday tarot reading. So happy birthday my dear. I love the fact that I did your reading for the cards and the star came up, meaning that you are the star of the show. Aquarius full moon, who? And we have the 9 of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, which you deserve. So please Leo, make a birthday wish. And if you are born on the 8th of August in particular, make a birthday wish, because that is the Lion's portal. And even if that's not your birthday, make a wish as well, because that's your annual new moon. The 8th of August is so significant in my family for some reason. It's my mum and dad's anniversary. They got married on the 8th of the 8th, 88. And then my mum's sister, she got married, but a good while before that. I think it was maybe in the 60s, 70s. Couldn't be the 60s. I don't know. But she got married a long time before that. But they both couples were married on the 8th of the 8th, married in the Lion's portal, which is quite interesting. But listen, enough about me. For you, Leo, this is a really interesting spread of cards for you. So first and foremost, there is the obvious. There's a wish fulfillment for you in August. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to just drop out of the sky for you in August, but it might. So depending on what you're wishing for. And the reason that I'm saying that, Leo, is because that new moon that is the Lion's portal, 2 weeks later we have a full moon at 29 degrees of your opposite sign, while the sun is at 29 degrees of your sign, meaning there's a really fast manifestation process going on for you here. Now, we do talk about the astrology in the all signs video, which is fine, but at the same point, there's going to be a bit of tension for you in the first week of the month with Uranus and Saturn. And I know that you're maybe tired of hearing about that, and it sounds like a buzzkill or a party popper or whatever, party pooper. I don't know. Whatever it is, it can be a bit annoying, but Saturn always has something to teach us. And with it being in your partnership sector of relationships, and then Uranus being in your career sector, and both of them forming friction with your first house, it's asking you how powerful you feel. And also, do you know yourself? Do you know yourself in terms of who you are professionally? Do you know yourself in who you are in relationships? It's really asking you to step into your power there. And if you don't have a clear idea of what you want to do for a living or what legacy you want to leave behind, or you're not sure you can achieve certain things, this is a month to start taking small steps of physical empowerment. You know, maybe reading a book that really charges you up or gives you confidence, or maybe working out that gives you confidence, creating a new system for yourself. Affirmations would be very first house, I have to say. So really figuring out what makes you feel powerful. Some of you are going to be eating something or working with plant magic or herbs that really makes you feel empowered. And some of you could also be working on your garden. There's something about with the Medicine Woman card and the Garden in the Gate. Some of you are going to be finding that nature, plants, herbs, the natural things in life is going to help you manifest your dream life. So maybe some of you have started adding maybe you're creating spell jars, or maybe some of you are doing candle magic, or maybe some of you are eating a different type of diet, or eating more greens, or you're exercising more as a way of manifesting, or you're creating a beautiful garden at your home, or you're spending more time in a place in nature. What's interesting for you, Leo, is that with Saturn opposite you, some of you are really tempted to not try or play it safe. And the cards are saying no. With the Garden in the Gate card here, it really reminds me of that quote where it says, I'm not sure who said it, but they said that ships are safe in harbour, but that's not what ships are built for. The Garden in the Gate is kind of similar. It's about where we feel really comfortable and really safe in a particular role, or a particular, with a particular personality trait, or in a particular area, or just doing one thing. The Garden in the Gate says that yes, you can do these things. You don't have to leave them behind, but maybe there's something else. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's more that you can have. And also some of you are really doubting if maybe you can have it all in some capacity. I also think the Garden in the Gate for some of you can be feeling a bit stuck where you are. For some of you, it could be restrictions. It could be feeling a bit despondent. It could be feeling a little bit worried about the state of the world in general based on the fixed sign squares. But the cards are really asking you to have hope and have faith, with the Star card being in the middle here, because there's something that wants to manifest for you this month, Leo. Now with the Ace of Swords here, there's clarity, there is decisiveness, there's a new beginning happening for you that seems to be linked to the Aquarius placement. So Jupiter's going back into your 7th house, Saturn's already in your 7th house. We have the full moon in Aquarius, the second one in 2 months, 29 degrees of your 7th house. There's a strong activation there. Your 7th house is Aquarius. And I think for a lot of you, there could be a message, like an email or a text message, or someone says something to you that I think you really want to hear. You know, I think it's something sincere. I think you want to hear from a person or a company or an organization. I think there's some sort of significant news reaches you this month from another person. Not from people, from another person. And I'm not saying it's romantic, but it certainly could be. But I think a lot of you are going to be getting some sort of message this month that is really important. I'm sort of drawn to the Medicine Woman and the fact that there's lightning strikes in the air, and that's associated with Uranus. So I actually think for a lot of you, the squares going on in the sky are going to be quite healing for you. Some of you are experiencing headaches. Some of you are experiencing headaches or issues with your crown chakra, with the crown there. And because you are a Leo, if you're experiencing issues with the crown chakra, it means that you're not feeling in your power, or you're not feeling connected to the universe. And the way that a lot of you are going to do that is by being in nature, or being around plants, or working with plants, or working with herbs, or figuring out what it is that you need to eat in order to feel good, and maybe cutting out some stuff that doesn't make you feel good at all. Is something that's actually really intriguing coming up for you, Leo, because there's going to be a trine between Venus and Pluto, and Pluto's in your 6th house of health and well-being. And because it's trining Venus, a lot of you are going to figure out that something is either bad for your skin, bad for your health, or bad for your well-being, and you're just going to cut it out. Some of you are also going to be gaining a significant social media following, or new important clients. I actually think some of you could be working with famous people. Maybe you are a famous person, but you're attracting really exciting go-getters into your life, people with fame, people with accolades. It might also be that it's your time to shine. Of course it's your time to shine, it's your season, but it could be that you're getting more of an audience. Either this is people seeing, for example, your CV, people reaching out to connect with you. It could be that you have a lot of options this month. It could be that you have a lot of romantic interests as well. I actually see with the Star and the Nine of Cups, some of you have a really strong manifestation you've always wanted that's not happened for you yet, and you're getting clarity this month on how to get it, and it's by not playing it so safe. So whatever that means to you, is about not playing it so safe and falling in love with life again is something that's coming up for you as well, Leo. So I'm going to roll your astro dice and see what we get. Ooh. Ooh. Venus in the 8th house, spicy. And we have Sagittarius. Okay, so for a lot of you in love, there's going to be a really strong attraction. If you're in a relationship, it's going to be really spicy. There's going to be a lot of chemistry, a lot of passion, a lot of oomph. Especially if you're dealing with a Sagittarius. For those of you that are single, some of you could be getting money that is owed to you this month. Some of you could be getting a tax rebate. Some of you could be getting a really good payment from somebody that you're owed. Some of you could be getting a loan. Some of you could be getting a grant. Some of you could also be, with Venus and Sagittarius, you could be traveling, or you could be meeting somebody from another culture, or you could be making plans to travel with a significant relationship. I also feel that a lot of you could be learning with the Sagittarius symbol and the 8th house, learning about astrology this month with Venus there. Or you could literally be dealing with somebody in your life that has Venus in Sagittarius, maybe in the 8th house, or maybe you Venus in the 8th house. But this is a really sensual trio here going on. Really sensual, really adventurous, really spicy, really exciting, especially for your love life. With the 8th house as well, it could be for a lot of you with the Venus card that you could be feeling maybe more passionate about somebody. You're maybe more prone to jealousy this month, but with the Sagittarius the Sagittarius dice, it's saying to keep it lighthearted, to keep it adventurous, and to keep it fun. There's a lot of adventure in your love life. That's one thing that's definitely coming up for you, Leo. Adventure in your love life. And when Venus moves into your 3rd house, Libra, at the end of the month, you're going to be experiencing a lot of love on your doorstep, or mental connections, that sort of thing, or learning with somebody that you're interested in, maybe like meeting somebody through a shared hobby or something like that. But I do think for a lot of you, the Sagittarius dice here is a key to go for an adventure, either of the mind or literally to get out of where you are, get out of the city that you're in, or get out of the rut that you're in mentally, start expanding your mind and allowing the manifestations to come to you, Leo, because it certainly looks like there's something that you are manifesting this month. Now, there is an extended version of this reading available. It'll be linked below. It will go into the astrology, go deeper into the tarot, the different signs you could be dealing with, that sort of thing. So if you want to treat yourself for your birthday, it is there. And if not, I will talk to you soon. Bye, Leo. Hi Virgo, welcome to your August 2021 astrology and tarot. So Virgo, happy birthday to all the August Virgos. We're heading into your season. Now I want to start off with this. If you're looking at this card and thinking, I want to click off, it's not what you think. This is something that has either already happened or you're feeling quite down about. There's something within you, within your heart chakra, that's not quite healed, and we're going to get into that. It's not something that's going to happen in August per se. But Virgo, we have an interesting season for you because it is your 12th house season, and I talked a lot in the astrology video about how this is a time of healing, of a time of accepting help, and a time of accepting that there are some things you need to let go of, you need to work on, but it's also a season where you have Venus, Mars, and your ruler Mercury going through your sign, and then the Sun. So we're stepping into your power here. But the truth is, with the Sun going through your 12th house, there is always a light being shone on your darkest corners. You know, the part of yourself that you're afraid to acknowledge or afraid to see. And I feel like with the compassion card and the broken heart card, a lot of you need to have more compassion for yourself and work on your self-talk. So what you're saying to yourself on a regular basis, what's going on in that beautiful mind of yours where you're talking to yourself, when you get something wrong or you want to do something, what is the internal voice, the internal monologue? Because I do feel with the Magician and the Emperor and the Page of Wands, a lot of you need to have a more empowered voice. The voice within needs to be more empowered. It needs to be more in its own power. And it's not about being controlling. It's not trying to control the voice in your head. It's about letting the intrusive thoughts go, challenging them, not letting them take over, and not letting them tell you that you are less than. With the Emperor and the Page of Wands here, you have a choice for that inner voice to feel like an Emperor or a Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is someone who is indeed enthusiastic, but is at only a certain stage of their journey. They're a page, and the Emperor is more in control. He's more empowered, and he knows his place. And this is about choosing to use that voice because it's affecting what you're manifesting in your life. If you see with the Magician card here, it's all about alchemy. It's all about self-transformation and choice, and the belief that we have in ourselves, the belief that we have in our skills and our abilities. And for a lot of you, I think you're not seeing your value. I think you're not seeing the potential within you to create something for yourself, to step into more power, to step into maybe even a leadership role. With the True Node going through your 10th house this year, a lot of you are being called to take on more power and more responsibility. But the problem with that is that when the North Node's going through your 10th house, if you have an inner authoritarian, patriarchal, dominant, controlling voice, it's harder for you to see the changes that need to be made. And for a lot of you, Virgo, it needs to change in August. You need to have more compassion for yourself, the way you talk to yourself. You can be very critical on yourself. And also this month, because of the conjunction between Mercury and Mars, you can be more critical to other people. That's just a heads up. Just be careful about the way that you communicate, because you could actually really, really hurt somebody this month with the broken heart card. And the compassion card if you feel judgmental. And typically, when we feel judgmental, or I often think about when people want to leave a really hateful comment on YouTube, it's usually because they're going through something or their circumstances aren't great. It doesn't typically come from a voice of truth and wisdom and love. People can be critical in a helpful way. You can give critical advice or critical feedback that's helpful, but it's where there's judgment, that judgmental energy, and that's something that I feel like is internalized on you and might be reflected out if you don't figure out a way to how you talk to yourself, because another thing is, if you are constantly criticizing or talking badly to yourself, eventually people are going to think that's how you're thinking of them. You know what I mean? Maybe that is how you're thinking of them. Maybe you do see other people's flaws that little bit easier and you want to work through it. But, being judgmental doesn't help with connections. And I think it's more the judgment to yourself that's really hurting you, because you have so much power and potential this month with the Magician and the Emperor, the Page of Wands. You have so much alchemy. You have so many amazing skills. And with the Enlightenment card, if you can just let go of that judgmental voice and focus on your self-talk, you can really see what changes need to be made, how you can also lead others. Because one thing that's coming up for you, Virgo, is that a lot of people really would like to see you lead in something, or they would like to see you come into the spotlight on something. With the Magician and the Emperor and the Page of Wands, a lot of you could be manifesting a person that wants to give you an opportunity. I think you could be seen by people who want to give you jobs, people who want to give you opportunities, people who want to have relationships with you. You could be seen and manifest a lot of opportunity this month with Venus, Mars in Virgo. The only person that can get in your way on it is yourself. So one of the things that's coming up for you, Virgo, is that Venus is going to move into Libra. And when Venus moves into Libra, it will be your second house of worth and confidence. And it is going to trine the True Node in your 10th house. If you're offered an opportunity to step up or be seen in some way, have the confidence to at least think about it. Have the confidence to at least consider what that would mean. Because I think for a lot of you, you fear judgment. Some of you really want to be more successful in your career or in your relationships, but you're scared to put yourself out there or go for it because you don't want to be judged, or you don't want to be seen as a fraud, or you don't want to be seen lacking. But with the Magician, it's letting you know that you already have the skills. Some of you have a lot of experience behind you, a lot of education behind you, a lot of wisdom within you, a lot of natural talents, natural gifts. And you know, Venus in your sign this month is also going to trine Pluto in your sector of hobbies, talents, and natural gifts. And for you, Virgo, I have to say, you have an opportunity to showcase your stuff this month. But if you criticize yourself so much, you won't actually get anything done, because studies do actually show as well psychologically that if you are really hard on yourself, it doesn't motivate you at all. It actually does the opposite. People are taught, I think, in school that if somebody yells at you, it'll get you motivated, or like fear will motivate you, or being critical will motivate you to do better. Actually, in a lot of cases, human beings just get deflated and they just find they don't have the motivation. I sometimes find that with doing these videos, I think I'm not really getting this at all, or does this even make sense? And you overthink it to the point you're like, should I even put this out? You know, analysis paralysis is something that could be haunting you, and so you need to work on that inner voice, Virgo. The mountain in front of you is you. You have the opportunity this month to step into your power with the Emperor and the Page of Wands. Also to lead people, to teach people. Some of you are thinking of becoming teachers. This is something that's going to be very good for you. Some of you are considering putting your thoughts out there to the world. Some of you are considering sharing advice. I also think some of you are actually manifesting a mentor, someone who can give you really strong, solid advice, and somebody who really wants to help you this month. That came up in your astrology too. There's somebody, likely a male, likely older than you, wants to help you, especially if with the Page of Wands you have chaotic energy in your life at the moment that you're finding hard to control. Okay, so we have the Sun in Gemini in the 5th house. Perfect. Actually perfect. Sun in Gemini, that is technically, if the Sun's in Gemini, it would be in your 10th house. We have 10th house energy with Gemini, and then the 5th house, which is your natural talents. The Sun is shining a light on the Gemini energy, your career success, your natural talents, and your leadership. With the Sun also in Gemini, it's shining a light on having better conversations, being more open to people, being more playful with conversations rather than so serious, talking about the things you love more. Also, with Gemini in the 5th house, being grateful for the things that are going well in your life, having gratitude for them, having gratitude for your opportunities, gratitude for the people in your life that have fun. With Gemini in the 5th house, it's very fun energy, making more time to be playful, making more time to do the things you love to do just because you love to do them. With Venus in your sign linking up with Pluto, that's just a no-brainer. Hobbies, talents can really transform this month. You can get great alchemy going. And also you could be dealing with a Gemini person. There could be a Gemini in your life, or Gemini is represented really strongly in your cards actually. With the Magician too. There could be someone in your life that is a Gemini that really likes you. Really likes you with the 5th house here. They could be in love with you. They could idolize you in some way. They could think you're really attractive. They could think you're really talented. It doesn't have to be romantic, I guess, but it could be that there is a Gemini that really has their eye on you. Could be a Leo as well. If it's a Leo or a Gemini that you're already involved with, there's a lot of romance this month, a lot of playfulness as well. But I do think Gemini is really represented very strongly. It could be Sun, Moon, or Rising. It could also be that if you have Gemini placements in your chart, Virgo, you need to pull them out and use them. Some of you are really strong writers, communicators, bloggers, journalists, and anything that is written or anything that is Gemini in nature, like conversation, dialogue, your neighbors, all of that stuff gets a really strong boost with you, with the Magician card as well. So yeah, that is what I have for you. I'm going to get into the extended. It'll be listed below. If you want to join me there, it goes into the different zodiac signs you could be dealing with. It's a more in-depth look at your cards and your forecast for August 2021. But if not, I will see you soon, Virgo. Bye. Hi Libra, welcome to your August tarot reading. So Libra, there's some really interesting stuff coming up in your cards for you. One of the things that's coming up is that some of you might be feeling with work or an emotional matter in your life, you could be feeling kind of burnt out or overburdened. The reason that I say that is because we have the Ten of Wands here and the Siege Quiet Time card. So we have a lot of planets in your 12th house at the moment. We have Mercury moving in there in August, Venus going through it, and Mars being in there the whole month. Now, Mars is our energy. Mars is where we have force, we use our actions, and when it's going through the 12th house, a lot of the time, the push and the drive can be to confront fears or confront any emotional baggage. Now, Mars also rules your relationships. So for a lot of you, you could be healing some old perspectives surrounding relationships or surrounding traumas or past issues or anything that feels like baggage. Because I think for a lot of you, there is this overburdened energy where maybe your shoulders are quite tense, your upper back is quite tense, and you could feel like you're holding the weight of the world on your shoulders. And one of the things that the cards really want you to do with so much in your 12th house is actually to meditate and find a way to calm the mind and to feel centered. This can be by just recharging in general. So making sure that despite the fact that the sun's going through your 11th house, which is very social and a lot to do with giving to other people, giving to groups, giving to charities, teams, friendships, all that sort of stuff, because a lot of people are going to want your energy. It's also about taking time to feel balanced and spending time by yourself, whether that is watching things on Netflix or reading a book or just sitting quietly or even just sleeping. It's about making time for that downtime, Libra, where you need your space and you need to feel calm, because there could actually be a lot of people wanting your attention this month with the sun going through your 11th house and a new moon going through your 11th house. One thing I also want to say with the new moon there on the 8th of August is that you have a window of opportunity in terms of visualizing something into reality. So a manifestation process. This is a wonderful new moon to start a new project in terms of a long-term goal or aspiration, because one thing that's coming to you this season, Libra, through practicing self-care, through meditation, through practicing habits for yourself in order to make yourself feel better. One thing that's coming up for you is actually a recharge of energy and an energy renewal, because we have the third chakra here, Archangel Chamuel, and the renewal card. And your third chakra is where you feel motivated. It's where you feel excited. It's where you feel ready to start new chapters, new projects. You're excited. You have this really strong motivation to get things done or have fun or use your energy in a way that is healthy for you or makes you feel good. And with the renewal card, a lot of you are going to suddenly have this new burst of energy, this new enthusiasm for a project, for a dream, for an aspiration, and something in your life is just going to make you feel like you can do it. You're having these powerful affirmations of I can do this, I can make this happen, I want to do this. Instead of saying I have to do this, you're going to say I want to do this. You're going to choose your words more carefully. Is something that's coming up for you, Libra, because with the South Node going through your third house, a lot of you are moving away from not saying anything. You're healing issues surrounding the language you use, the words that you use, the self-talk that you have. You're being asked to move away from any negative self-talk that you have or any limiting beliefs that you have about yourself at this time too, because we're going to experience Venus, your ruler, in your sign this month for the good half of the end of August. The latter half of August is going to be Venus, your ruler, in your sign, which is really powerful, and it's going to be connecting with the true node. It's also going to be connecting with Saturn. So the air energies are working with you this month in order to change your belief systems, to have healthier beliefs, healthier perspectives on yourself, your personality, your life, and your particular aspirations and your goals, but also in terms of romance. So for a lot of you with the Knight of Cups and the King of Pentacles, you could be attracting new love into your life. There's definitely somebody on the periphery. If you're single, they could be someone through work. They could be somebody that you admire for their work ethic. It could be somebody with their own business. They could have an exciting job, or at least a well-established job. They could be good with money. They could be good with finances. They could be someone who's very trustworthy, stable and loyal, and very interested in serious relationships rather than something frivolous, because the King of Pentacles is typically a sign that goes for significant relationships rather than flings. So with Venus connecting with Saturn, for a lot of you, there is the potential of someone coming on to the horizon for you who's long-term potential, and they could be an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, a Capricorn, but that can be the rising sign as well. This is somebody who has very sincere intentions and somebody who actually gives rather than simply takes, because with the 10 of Wands followed by the Knight of Cups, I feel like for a lot of you, you've been in a place where you give so much in relationships and don't get a lot back, or you're still holding on to someone from the past, and this might be a way of moving forward. But with the renewal card, I have to say, for some of you, this could be in an existing relationship where you move to the next level with the Knight of Cups. So it could be an engagement, a proposal, or having children, or just spending more quality time together. They could be trying to woo you again instead of it just being, a routine, as it were, with the renewal card there. There is some sort of romantic renewal going on for you, Libra, or the new relationship entering your life. And this is very, very easy to see in the astrology because of Venus connecting with Saturn. I also think for a lot of you, you could be making some kind of trip to a new place for your career. Some of you could be moving for work or moving to a new area that is more suited to your personality or your personal preferences. But there's something for you, Libra, that's an interesting blend of the Leo and Virgo energies, whereby you're working on your inner self, healing, self-care, maybe changing your habits. A lot of the time with the 12th house and Mars going through there, it could be about releasing things that don't work for you. So that could be overworking, overachieving, working too hard, maybe putting in too many hours. Maybe for some of you with so much in the 12th house, you're booking some time off to travel, because the 12th house can be long distance travel. So some of you could be taking some time off just to rest, just to reflect, just to renew and recharge yourself. And let's see what comes up in your astro dice. Ooh, so we have Sagittarius, the Sun, and the 11th house. So one thing that could be coming up for you, because this is your 11th house season, a lot of you could be making a new friend. So that Knight of Cups doesn't have to be romantic, but you could be making a new friend through work, through study, through university. You could be making them through your business. They could be in your neighborhood as well. But basically what's coming up for you, I think, Libra, is the appearance of somebody who's either a really good friend or a really good fit for you in terms of your long-term goals and aspirations. I see with the Sun in the 11th house that this month you're really going to be focusing on manifestation, focusing on making something happen for yourself. You're going to be motivated to go after your dreams. You're going to be motivated to work on your business, work on your career. And a lot of you with the King of Pentacles as well could be getting a promotion with that Sun in the 11th house here too. Now with the Sagittarius and the 11th house, if you have a Sagittarius friend or somebody that you work with, there could be significant attention with them this month. You could be having to give them your attention. They could be giving you more attention. There could be a team collaboration with someone who's a Sagittarius, or an overseas collaboration, something that is either overseas or out of town. There could be a global aspect to this. And I also see with the 11th house, the Sun and Sagittarius, some of you could be thinking of getting involved in philanthropy or charity or human issues. That's a big theme with the Aquarius full moon coming up. But with the Aquarius full moon coming up in 29 degrees, I also think for some of you, Libra, you could have somebody open their heart to you, someone share their feelings with you. And for some of you, it could actually be a friend that likes you, or someone that is in your groups. So whatever groups you associate, be it through, work, teams, or it could be the group that you hang around with as your friends, your social circle. It could be people that you connect with online. Some of you could be experiencing an online romance. So obviously be careful with that if you don't know who they are, or you don't have any mutual connections or stuff like that. Be careful with people online being who they say they are. It's not always true. But I do think for some of you that are online dating, there could be something quite significant for you. And it could be somebody who is well traveled, or who comes from a different culture, or who is just very adventurous and they love to travel. They love to explore. They could be a very adventurous personality. So that's what I have for you, Libra. The extended is linked below if you want to get a more in-depth tarot and astrology forecast for this particular reading and your sign for the month of August. We go into the different signs you could be dealing with and the clarifying cards. But if not, I will see you soon. Bye, Libra. Hey Scorpio, welcome to your August tarot predictions. So Scorpio, this is the time of the year that really focuses on your career and your successes because it is Leo season. Interestingly, in your cards, the Strength card has come up and so has the Destiny card. So for a lot of you, your career success, your focus is going to be something that becomes really clear to you this month. If you've been trying to figure out what your purpose is or what you want to do next in career or where you stand with your current career or what you would like to do with your time or what legacy you would like to leave behind, Scorpio, there's going to be some clear defining factors this month. There is going to be something revealed to you in terms of your career that makes sense. With the new moon happening in Leo, if you've been feeling a little bit lost in terms of your professional life, this is a time to set intentions that are really clear about what it is that you want for yourself professionally. Because I see a lot of you, Scorpio, this month, and this came up in the astrology reading too, because I do a couple of cards there as well. You are going to be signing contracts in the next month or so. There's some kind of agreement. So for a lot of you, there could be a celebration for an agreement with Justice and the Three of Cups here. There could be literal contracts happening to you. I think there's contracts happening for a lot of you, or even if it's not a physical contract, it's a legal agreement, or a karmic agreement is what I mean to say. It could be to do with the universe, something that is part of your Destiny card here. And I do think that you have been very patient with something in your life. You've been really trying to be calm under pressure. You've really tried to be patient. You've really tried to be flexible with things. And I actually feel like you're going to be rewarded for your patience at this time and rewarded for your strength. A lot of you are really tapping into the energy of big cats. Now, it's interesting to say that because we have the Guardian card here, Artemis, which is to do with being protected by spirit guides, by ancestors. And we have the Strength card with the Lion card, the lion imagery here. I actually had a dream last night about a black panther, and I had just gotten my nails done the day before, and the reason that I'd picked the color is because it had been called calling in your spirit animal, and then I had this dream about this black panther. And I was just thinking for you when I saw these cards, because I actually am a Scorpio, a lot of you are really tapping into the Leo energy, you know, lions or tigers or maybe panthers or leopards. You're tapping into this pride energy. You know, you're really protective over the people in your family or protective over your reputation or your career, and especially family, because we have the Happy Family card here as well. So for a lot of you, with the Guardian card and the family, you might be worried about people in your family or people you live with. There could be a family situation that has been under stress because of Saturn being in Aquarius, but Jupiter is going back into Aquarius this month, and we have a full moon at 29 degrees of Aquarius conjunct Jupiter. So things are likely going to turn around for a lot of Scorpios if there have been tricky family situations, if there has been issues surrounding children or issues surrounding siblings or parents or anything like that. It's likely that there is going to be some sort of happy healing with family, some hope renewed, some reconnection. That's obviously not for everybody, but it could work in different ways. You know, the Happy Family card can be about people you live with or people you regard as family. It may also be, if you're single, you could meet someone who has already got kids from a previous relationship. It's also possible that you could be talking about having kids with a partner. It's also possible that some of you could be having a child or have recently had a child that you're spending time with the Three of Cups there. That can be about pregnancy announcements, celebrations, christenings, weddings, significant birthdays for maybe Leos in your life, especially if you have Leos in your family, or there could be reunions with people in your family. Maybe you're seeing people for the first time in a while, I don't know, but it seems like there is going to be a turnaround for a lot of Scorpios in family matters, or maybe matters of the home. So with the Justice card and the Three of Cups, a lot of you are going to be celebrating a contract this month, and it could be that this contract is to do with signing a lease, getting a new home, putting down a deposit for a home, deciding to get a home, anything to do with that happy family card. But it could also be with Justice and the Three of Cups that some of you are actually tying the knot in August. So you could be getting married. If you're already engaged, it could be that the Justice card and the Three of Cups is planning a wedding or having a wedding. It could be with somebody who has Leo in their chart. It could be someone who has Libra in their chart, of course, as well. But I do feel for a lot of you, there could be literally going to a wedding or a christening or some sort of happy event with your family or people you consider to be family. It also is possible with Justice and the Three of Cups, there could be an engagement to celebrate for somebody in your life. It could be your own, because we do have Uranus in the 7th house, which is trining all the different Virgo placements to do with manifestation. But it could be likely that you have a friend that gets engaged, or it could be likely that someone on your team, or there's celebrations or people that you associate with. But again, it could be yours. So don't write that off. It's just that Justice and the Three of Cups can go so many different ways, but it's usually celebrations that have some sort of paperwork. Or it can be that you're celebrating a contract, and it's likely a very long-term one too. With the Strength card, as you can see, the infinity symbol is above. So a lot of you could be committing to a new pathway in life. Maybe you're committing to a relationship wholeheartedly, or maybe you're committing to a job wholeheartedly. There is this strong focus on laying down roots for yourself, because the Family card is number 4, which is to do with foundations. And with the Destiny card as well, if a lot of you have been struggling with the idea of destiny or not knowing what's in front of you, because this is a crown chakra card and we have the crown here and the crown here. I just noticed that. We have a lot of crowns. You're stepping into your power, but you're also figuring out, what feels good to you, because the crown chakra is about listening to signs and synchronicities from the universe. So it's all to do with divine timing. And I feel with the emphasis on crowns here, a lot of you could be stepping into a leadership role. A lot of you could be leading a team. You could be working with working on a project where you have to inspire people, or you're inspiring people in your life. You could just be dropping truth bombs on your friends left, right and center, giving them really great advice, being really appreciated for the advice that you are giving. Be mindful this month though that there is a conjunction between Mars and Mercury in Virgo, and you could be quite critical, as anybody could, but it's just make sure that you're communicating with, of course, being honest, but also being aware of how you would like to receive the information back. But I do see a lot of great connections with friendships. I do feel like for a lot of you, you've taken on a supportive role, in particular with a friend or a family member that is going to be okay in some capacity, where someone in your life is quite in their lion energy, where they're feeling kind of rough, they're feeling kind of volatile or defensive, or they're feeling kind of just maybe even insecure as something, or they're impatient, but you're teaching them patience in some capacity. So let's get your Astro Dice and see what we get, Scorpio. Ooh, Jupiter in the 4th house. That's actually what's happening this month, because Jupiter is moving into your 4th house after being in your 5th. In Sagittarius. So there's a lot of blessings coming to your home and family, Scorpio. There's also blessings coming for you with travel and foreign affairs with the Sagittarius card here. Jupiter in Sagittarius is exceptionally lucky because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So to have it with the 4 here means there's a lot of luck coming to your home, your family, your setup regarding a home, good news surrounding your children, good news surrounding your family. Also with Jupiter in the 4th house, you could be feeling more secure about home, or you could be feeling more secure about your foundations. Maybe some of you are feeling more financially secure, or some of you are seeing the higher wisdom in an issue. I also feel, because Jupiter rules the law and we have the Justice card here, a legal matter will go in your favor. So there could be legal developments happening for you that will go in your favor. For some of you, this is celebrating working in the law or a legal matter, or signing contracts that are going in your favor, or contracts that are going to be very auspicious for you and are going to lay really strong foundations for the rest of your life. And particularly, they're going to make your family proud, or you're going to feel very proud of someone in your family. But there's a lot of joy happening for you here, Scorpio, that really reflects the astrology. With the Justice card and the Jupiter card, I really feel like the law is going to be on your side, or a legal matter or a contract that's really going to be lucky for you. Let's see if I get anything else. Ooh, Mars, Libra, and the 5th house. Yeah, Mars, Libra. You really have some contracts going on here. Some of you could be dealing with a Libra person. But with the 5th house, I feel like a lot of you are going to be experiencing joy surrounding Libra areas. So partnership, marriage, one-on-one relationships with Mars there. I also feel like you're going to conquer anybody that puts themselves out as an enemy to you. I also feel with the 5th house and Mars, you could be feeling very passionate, and you could also be very attractive to people around you with the 3 of Cups. A lot of people are going to want to spend time with you this month as well and celebrate you. Just be careful with Mars there in Libra, that when you're doing things or asking for things, you have a kind of fair, just and graceful manner in doing it. Because with Mars going through... Mars fell over. With Mars going through Virgo in the sky at the moment, it can make people really quite critical and quite sharp. So if you come in with the grace and the pleasantries, you're going to shine like a diamond. So just a little heads up. The extended is listed below, Scorpio, if you want to get a more in-depth reading with these cards. We go into the different zodiac signs, clarify everything, and see what we get for August. And if not, I will see you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your August 2021 tarot reading. So Sagittarius, there's some really interesting stuff happening for you because this season is about your 9th house, and you are the sign that represents the 9th house. You're all about the journey. You're all about the experiencing life wholeheartedly, finding the answers, taking the adventure, asking the big questions, having faith in how things are going to work. And for a lot of you with Leo season, this is about embodying that energy even more so. So one of the things that's really coming up clearly in your card reading with the journey card and the discovery, a lot of you are going to be taking some kind of trip this month, and it might be that you are not physically traveling very far. You could be traveling a short distance, or you could be traveling a long distance, or you could just be even learning about a foreign culture, a foreign land. You could be learning about wildlife, or you could be watching a lot of documentaries, or you could be exploring higher concepts, higher wisdom, philosophers, the great philosophers of the time, the great spiritual gurus, teachers, all of these different things. You could be learning about this sort of stuff, even if it's not a physical journey, but there is some kind of new beginning, some kind of new adventure happening to you that's really going to help you discover a lot about yourself. One thing that's coming up for you is that some of you are thinking of or are getting or have had is it an Akashic record done where you have your past lives read by someone that's into past lives, somebody that knows how to work with them, to channel them, to convey them to you, or you're having past life dreams or memories. Some of you are traveling somewhere that you either used to live, you're spending more time where you grew up, or you're traveling to your homeland or where you came from or where your family originates from. A lot of you are looking into your origins because of the past life card. There's something to do with your past life experiences, but there is also this refreshing energy happening in your 9th house. So with the journey card and discovery, I think a lot of you are figuring out where you want to go next, what you want to learn next. For some of you, this could be going to university. This could be starting a new job in a foreign country. This could be traveling to a new city. This could be trying a new area of work or study, or this could be just stepping out of your comfort zone in some way this month. And it's a really beautiful time for discovery, because with the new moon in Leo happening on the 8th of August, a lot of you are going to be experiencing some kind of new beginning or planting the seeds for the next big adventure in your life. For a lot of you, it could be an adventure of the heart, because we have with the discovery card, the heart here. You could be following a calling, following just this inner knowing, following this drive to pursue an interest or pursue a particular place or a particular relationship. You're following your heart on something, Sagittarius, that you feel divinely called to do. So this could be that you just have this instinct that you want to do something and you do it. You want to travel somewhere. You want to take up a specific hobby that people find really unusual, or you want to take an adventure that people find unusual. There's something about this that's kind of different. And it's interesting as well, because with the journey card, sometimes it can represent a new job, or it can represent a new beginning in a business. And we have Venus and Mars and Mercury all going through your 10th house this month, and the Sun, meaning that your public image, your public presence is going to come into it's going to come to the forefront, is what I'm trying to say. So there's a lot of you that have the potential to start a new job, or attract a new job, or attract a promotion. You could be traveling with work. I do think for some of you, you're thinking of relocating, or there's a substantial change where you live, or with a property. Or it could be that you're, moving home. It could be that you're traveling to a holiday home. It could be that you're on the road in some capacity. I feel like there is a journey linked to home. The 5 of Wands and the 7 of Cups here. If you're feeling particularly indecisive about something, if you're feeling like you have a lot of options, you might overwhelm yourself. I think that this month for you is a lot to do with seeing the bigger picture rather than being in the thick of it, looking at things from a higher perspective. Because I actually do feel for a lot of you that whatever it is that you're doing, the journey that you want to go on, there's a bit of fear, because I think there's a lot of competition. So maybe this is in your business. You feel like there's new businesses springing up around you that are strong competition, or you want to get a house and the competition's very strong. Or for some of you, it's that you have a family member who keeps picking fights. And I think for a lot of you, there is something unresolved there that is a past life issue that you need to overcome within you to get past it. So that could be, sitting for a moment and figuring out what that feeling is and where it comes from. So if you feel like you want to apply for this job or this house, or you want to go on this adventure, but you feel like there's this block or this adversary popping up with you, like maybe you've tried to get something off the ground for a long time, but people keep saying no, or you don't get the answers. It seems to me, Sagittarius, that with the past life card and the journey card here, there's something about yourself you need to discover. There's something about your heart you need to discover. And I think for a lot of you, it could be to do with having trouble laying roots. So maybe for some of you, you have trouble sticking to one particular job for a long time. For some of you, you have trouble staying in contact with other people. For some of you, you have trouble committing to relationships. Whatever this is, there might be trouble staying grounded and staying rooted, and it can maybe lead to this feeling of dis-ease, or feeling like you have itchy feet, or you just constantly want to move. And it's saying that you can move and adventure, Sagittarius, but you also need to be mindful of your roots this month, where you're laying foundations, making time to call your family, or making time to talk things through with someone, or making time to spend with your children, or even spending time on your own, or tending to your house, looking after your environment, making sure that everything in the house is good. If you're experiencing friction in some life, it might be that there is an energy blockage in your home. So you might want to look up feng shui. With the 5 of Wands and 7 of Cups, some of you might have to declutter some stuff. You might have to do a deep clean in order to shift the energy if you feel like things aren't moving. But it is saying try and get a balance between your home and career this month, Sagittarius, because we do have oppositions between Neptune and Pisces and the Virgo placements, particularly Mars. So there could be a misunderstanding as far as home matters go, but it is a misunderstanding, so don't take it personally. The best thing to do is go in with clear communication and avoid being critical, because everybody's going to be super critical this month. It's just something that's going to happen with the astrology. And if you're having friction in the home, or with your kids, or with your landlord, or anybody, whatever it is, or your tenants, it could be that you need to make sure that the way that you communicate comes across well. So thinking a couple of times maybe before you send a text. Just because I think Mercury conjunct Mars this month can almost feel a little bit like the misunderstanding side of a Mercury retrograde. And it might not even be a misunderstanding. You might mean what you say, but it could be a little bit too blunt. It could also be that an authority figure, or a parent, or somebody in a high status says something to you that you don't like, that maybe makes you question yourself, and it's saying not to take that too seriously. Let's look at your astro dice. Ooh, interesting. So we have Saturn, So there's definitely something about an authority figure here, and there's something to do with the father. Saturn in Cancer in the 11th house. So with Saturn in Cancer, a lot of you are experiencing with that, as I just said, funnily enough, the 10th house, 4th house axis. A lot of you are having to learn how to balance time between your home and your family, especially if you have kids, because I think with the 4 of Wands and the 7 of Wands, you could have tension with a child or a parent where one person wants your attention, they want your support, but they're not good at asking for it. It could also be that someone in the family wants to reach out to you via social media. With the 11th house here, Sagittarius, we have Venus and Mercury both moving into your 11th house this month, and they're going to be blessing your online presence. They're going to be blessing your friendships, your relationships with like-minded people. But with Saturn and Cancer, you need to take your family life seriously, or your home seriously. There might be an energy issue in your home where you need to cleanse it, or you need to clean it, or you need to declutter. It might be causing some blockages in your life. For some of you, it could also be linked to doing up your garden. And as soon as you do paint your home or do up your garden or something like this, it's almost like it opens up new opportunities in your career. So if your family life is suffering in some capacity, or there's misunderstandings, have more, have a way of looking at that without missing out on your career opportunities. But if your career is suffering, figuring out a way to make your home look better. The two need to be balanced in some capacity. Sagittarius, this is coming up in a big way for you. You could also be dealing with a Cancer person. This could be somebody that's quite serious in your life. It could be someone you're married to. It could be someone you're in a long-term relationship with, or a friend, someone who's a long-term Cancer in your life. They might need your attention this month as well, or they might be the person you're traveling with, or they might be the person that you're on the same page with, or on the opposite end of the spectrum. You might be finding Cancerian people kind of restrictive or kind of serious this month. So it really depends what's going on there. Just remember, as I say, to keep the conversation open and receptive without being critical. So there is an extended part to this reading, Sagittarius. It's linked below if you want an in-depth tarot reading and more in-depth astrology and the different zodiac signs you could be dealing with. It is linked below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to your August tarot reading. So Capricorn, the main thing that is drawing my attention in your spread is the colour purple. The colour purple might be something quite significant for you this month. You might be buying something with a beautiful purple hue. You might be wearing purple more. You might be drawn to purple crystals like amethyst. It could be something that is alerting you to a third eye blockage, or it could be something that is alerting you to a strong and strengthened third eye. I think a lot of you are going to be finding with this season, because it is the 8th house season, in astrology, I like to think of it as spooky season. Now, I have an 8th house stellium, which means that I love all things taboo, like psychology, because psychology was actually considered taboo. This falls into the 8th house, astrology, transcendence, rebirth, having a phoenix moment. It can also be where we learn about conspiracies or question the things around us that people are scared to question. And I'm not saying you're going to be, turning into the next David Icke or anything like this, but what I'm saying is that you're going to be more interested in topics that maybe were originally considered mundane or well, not mundane, trivial to you is kind of what I'm seeing. So a lot of you could be more interested in the darker side. That could just be for some of you being interested in true crime or murder mysteries. Maybe you're watching Murder on the Orient Express or something like this, but you could be more drawn to things that are Scorpio-phonic in nature. They have themes of death and rebirth, or they have astrological or mystical undertones, because a lot of you are sort of more drawn to the mystic this month. Now, it could also be because we have a lot of the 8th house stuff. A lot of you could be figuring out how to share or work finances in a particular business partnership or in a relationship, especially if you're married to a fire sign, because we also have the Hierophant, which is the Pope. So one of the things that's coming up for you, Capricorn, is that some of you could have been raised in a very religious household. You could have had a very set religious background. It could have been Catholicism, for example, with the Hierophant, but it could also be any religion, but one where there was a set structure or schedule. And there's something about it that you may be changing your mind on, but you may also be finding comfort in. So for a lot of you with the Hierophant card, you could be finding comfort in whatever religion you followed as a child, or you could be touching base with someone who's really wise and gives great guidance, someone who is very knowledgeable on a spiritual or religious subject. For some of you, you could be seeking out counseling. Now, what I'm saying with the 8th house is that if you seek out counseling this month, it's very likely that you could find someone who really gets to the root of the issue. With the Hierophant, the Queen of Wands, and the 6 of Cups, somebody could really unpack past events for you in a way that shows you why you do certain things, and it could really shift the way you see your personality in your life. With the Queen of Wands and the 6 of Cups, a lot of you could be finding someone who really can understand your past, where you've come from, and your past experiences. With the Hierophant as well, it could be that you're seeking counsel from a religious figure or someone who's really very wise. It might also be, Capricorn, that people are really coming to you for advice this month on all sorts of matters. But what's interesting with the Workaholic card, it kind of sticks out. I don't know if you could notice that, but it sort of sticks out like a sore thumb. It doesn't really go into the themes so well. So I feel like a lot of you with the Workaholic card could be finding with the True Node going through Gemini and the South Node going through your 12th house, that you've really been, in order to satisfy that South Node, North Node, either instinctively or through the astrology, a lot of you have been really focused on work matters. You've really been focused on improving your job, improving your routine, your schedule. This could also have been that you were focusing on exercise or diet, but your cards are saying, Capricorn, something's gone to an extreme with that particular axis. So for a lot of you, you've been trying to move away from spiritual stuff. Maybe you've been watching less pick-a cards or not reading your horoscope as much anymore, or you've been moving away from meditation or moving away from anything religious. Which is interesting, because how'd you get here? But anyway, if that was the case, but maybe you've just trying to do less of that. But what it is saying is that some of you have tipped too far in this workaholic direction, and you need more meditation, more time to rest, and more time to reflect, because just because the South Node is in your 12th house does not mean you shouldn't rest. And with the Action card here, where we see a white horse and a black horse, it symbolizes acting with our action, our yang energy, having the masculine, the movement, putting our ideas into action. But with the white horse there, it's also about having our yin energy, spiritual alignment, knowing what our intention is, not doing things thoughtlessly or carelessly, thinking before you act. And I think for a lot of you, there's a lack of balance there with what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to work through. I also think with the Hierophant card, because this is 8th house, some of you could be dealing with issues like loans, taxes, inheritance. You could be dealing with big financial matters. There could be financial changes surrounding your partner or your spouse's income or money. I feel like these could be things that are giving you financial abundance. So it could be that your partner's getting a pay rise, or it could be that you're coming into some money that you were owed or what's rightfully yours. But with the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant, I feel like there's going to be this sense of feeling quite secure, because the Hierophant rules Taurus. So there's a sense of security with finances. And also because we have a full moon coming up in Aquarius, your 2nd house of finances conjunct Jupiter, which for a lot of you could be a financial windfall of some kind. You could be coming into money or making more money or figuring out a way to make more money, maybe a really good idea, but it could also be linked to your partner or your marriage. For a lot of you with the 6 of Wands and the 6 of Cups and the Queen of Wands, you could be reconnecting to someone that you grew up with or someone from the past. One thing that I am seeing for you is a reconnection of sorts with somebody, and it doesn't have to be someone where you're estranged. It can be somebody that you just haven't seen in a while. You could be catching up with somebody. And I feel like they could be someone who's actually quite mystical with the mysticism card. They could be somebody who's really good at mediumship or clairvoyancy, or someone who's a tarot reader or an astrologer, or somebody who's just quite witchy. And I feel like they could have a message to relay to you that's quite important. So that could be something that comes up for you this month. Maybe you're seeking spiritual counsel of some kind, or you're reconnecting with somebody who's going to give you really good advice. I also feel for a lot of you, there's a fire sign from the past. I think it's a female or a Taurus male who wants to reach out to you for some reason. It could be to offer you an apology, it could be to offer you a job, or it could be to offer you congratulations or something if you are celebrating something to do with a marriage or a union. I also think for a lot of you, you could be the person who's giving advice. And another thing that's coming up for you is working with animals. So I think some of you could be getting involved or making a donation or spending time with animals. So it could be that you're visiting somewhere with animals. You could be working with animals in a charitable basis. It could be that you are getting a pet. It could be that you are going to be spending a lot of time with horses or cats or any type of animal that you can look after. And with horses and cats, there's usually a bit of a spiritual sense to them. This is Leo season, so a lot of you could be working during Leo season with animals. It could be in particular cats, but I do think for a lot of you with the workaholic card as well, you're figuring out passions outside of work that can actually be very calming for you, is what I would say with the Six of Cups. Some of you are picking up an old passion, and some of you are picking up an old hobby that's quite artistic or creative that you used to do, that you've fallen off the wagon with doing. And the reason that you've fallen off the wagon doing it is because you've been so busy or working so much. And this is going to be something that's actually really good for you, Capricorn. So let me get into your astro dice. Ooh, okay, so we have 6th house, Gemini. Gemini is your 6th house, that's interesting. And Jupiter, okay. Another thing that I wanted to mention with is that some of you could actually be, with the 6 of Cups and the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant, some of you could actually be married or getting engaged to a soulmate that has fire sign placements. So that could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. That's something that's coming up as well. But Jupiter in the 6th house, so work matters are going to be going really well. We have the true node going through your 6th house, meaning that in terms of work, things are really going to be working for you. There's going to be opportunities for you in work, especially towards the end of the month when your 6th house with the true node connects with Venus and also connects it's already connected with Saturn, but it connects with Venus that connects with Saturn. So there is going to be a lot of positive energy coming to your work life, your career life in terms of new starts, project endeavors. But it is saying to you, Capricorn, that you need to make sure for your own sake that you're meditating, you're resting, you're taking time to yourself, you're healing, you're focusing on processing emotions. You guys can sometimes miss out on that, but I think for a lot of you, there could be emotions from childhood or emotions surrounding a parent that are particularly a father that you haven't dealt with yet, that could be dulling your senses for life a little bit. So some of you might have to devote a little bit of time to healing that. With the South Node going through your 12th house, I can see why it's good to step away from that sometimes, but it's still activated, you know. It can still be that there's some stuff within you need to work through. And with Jupiter in the 6th house, work is going really well, but with the Gemini part to this, it means consider both sides. You know, it's about achieving a balance here. It's about the unconscious and the conscious. We have duality the whole way through your cards with the action card and then the Gemini aspect as well. There is that duality, and we have the mysticism and then the religion. So it's about balancing these energies out. But also for some of you, Gemini people could be quite lucky for you in work. So you could be getting help from a Gemini. You could be getting assistance from a Gemini. The person you seek counsel with could be a Gemini, or they could be somebody with Jupiter in the 6th house, or you could have Jupiter in the 6th house. But I'm seeing a lot of work related blessings for you. Jupiter is going into your 2nd house again, which is going to bless your finances and improve your confidence, which is something I see with the Queen of Wands here. And maybe you needed confidence to reach out to somebody or to ask for help or to return somewhere or do some healing. But I feel like confidence is going to be a big part of your month, Capricorn. So the extended to this is linked below if you want a more in-depth read. We go into the different zodiac signs you could be dealing with, all that good stuff. It's linked below. And if you don't join me there, I will see you soon, Capricorn. Bye. Hi Aquarius, welcome to your tarot spread for August. So Aquarius, there's a really interesting theme in your spread about children. We have the Page of Cups and the Guiding Children card, Damara. You're good at helping, counseling and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. For a lot of you, one of the things I'm seeing, particularly because of the hostilities card, is that some of you are considering a career path where you work with children, or you're considering volunteering for a charity that helps children. And for a lot of you, this is a good sign. So for some of you, you could be moving into a career in counseling or healing. You could be moving into a degree with the World card there where you teach, or you could be moving into a degree where you become a teacher, or you work with children who are disadvantaged or who are troubled in some way. It could also be for those of you that does not apply for, that this month is a lot to do with healing your inner child. Now, one thing that is coming up for you, Aquarius, is that we have Uranus moving through your 4th house of home, family and children, and it is going to be squaring off with your partnership energy, but also it is in a fixed square this year with Saturn in your 1st house. Now, that in itself is a really interesting thing, because you're experiencing some turbulence in terms of your foundations and your past. So for some of you, you could have been a troubled child, or you could have had trouble expressing anger or frustration. And that might be something you're deciding to work on this month, is healing your inner child or healing your relationship with your family. For some of you, maybe the hostilities card represents your parents or represents your upbringing, and you could be finding a way to heal that by actually helping other people. So it could be sharing your wisdom with other people, your knowledge with other people. With the 8 of Wands, there's going to be a lot of open dialogue for you, Aquarius. And it's really intriguing because we have a stellium for you this month with Mercury, Venus and Mars, and then the Sun is also going to move into Virgo, which is your 8th house. Now, your 8th house is really where you go to evolve, to experience an ego rebirth, death of the ego, a metaphorical rebirth of self with the 8th house. It's very transformative. It's also very intimate. So a lot of you could be really having a lot of chemistry in your intimate life with Venus going through there, because that can be, with the 8 of Wands, it can be a very phallic symbol. So it could be for a lot of you, there's increased passion and intimacy and closeness in your relationships, or you're meeting people this month where you have a really instant spark. With the 8th house meeting somebody, it can be that there's a really instant spark or a chemistry. It doesn't necessarily donate whether it's long term or not. It could be that there's a lot of very passionate people come your way. Aquarius is one thing that's sort of coming up for you, especially when Venus and Pluto trine in your 8th and 12th house. There could be for some of you a very soul-based past life kind of connection, or a very mystical and magical connection. If you're in a relationship, this is a really passionate time for you. And it may also be a time for some of you where you actually conceive a child because of the Page of Cups and the Guiding Children card. So some of you might get pregnant this month. It's just a warning with your cards. If you don't want that, but if you do want that, it's a great thing. 8 of Wands and the World. Some of you could actually be taking a trip this month as well. Now, Venus is going to be moving into its sign of rulership, Libra, which is your 9th house, and Venus is a lot happier in Libra. So we have travel indicated here twice, and that is because there are 2 planets this month moving into that sector, Mercury and Venus. And so for some of you, you could be traveling. Now, you could be traveling with a partner. You could be traveling with someone you're dating, someone you're romantically involved with. And this could be a very exciting time for you, and one that is very based in gratitude and good feeling. For a lot of you going into Virgo season, you're going to want to merge closer with people. You're going to want to develop intimacy, Aquarius. But with the Page of Cups in the World, it could also be suggesting that in terms of your emotional life, you could be finding emotions popping up for you that you find immature, like envy or jealousy or anything like that. You could be feeling these type of feelings come up, and instead of punishing yourself, it's important to let yourself feel them so that they can just, leave your system. Sometimes as air signs, it's hard to, you kind of want to intellectualize feelings a lot, or you don't know to just let them be and accept that, look, I'm feeling this way. There's maybe no real justification for it, but I'm okay with it. I'm not going to punish myself with the hostilities card for you there. It's about being your own best friend and not your own worst enemy. For a lot of people that are Aquarius watching this, you might have felt like something in your life was a bit clogged or a bit stuck. And with the Eight of Wands and the World card here, with the Page of Cups, one of the best ways to become unstuck with you, Aquarius, is to stop being frustrated with where you are and start being grateful for what you see. Because with the Gratitude card here and the hostilities, one way to improve your relationships or any relationship that's coming under a place of tension is to show gratitude. It could also be that you could feel grateful for the things that have gone right in your life over the things that have gone wrong. And that's not always... Gratitude's a tricky one because it's not always easy to practice, and it's not always a one size fits all because people go through different things. But sometimes when we focus on something different, our whole perspective and energy to life will change. So if you focus on the things that are going well for you, be it that you can take a trip with your family, or be it that you are seeing your child graduate, or you're graduating, or you figure out what you want to do with your life, or your family relationships are improving, whatever this is that you can be grateful for, focus on it, because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's one of the best quotes ever. It's probably kind of overused at this point, but it really is, such a fascinating thing, because the whole world really exists in your mind and in your choice. And if nothing's changed, it's amazing how we can wake up on different days feeling different. A lot of that is a choice based on what's going on in our head. So let's roll your astro dice and see what comes up for you. Okay. So we have I believe that's the North Node. Yeah, we have the North Node. We have Virgo, and we have the 7th house. Interesting. So yes, this is your 7th house season. Ooh, so one of the things that I'm seeing for you, Aquarius, especially because Virgo rules your 8th house, is that if you're in a relationship, this could be moving up a notch significantly. You guys could be creating a business together, having a child together, getting a property together. There could be something very committed happening between you and the person you're dating. If you're not dating anybody, there could be a Virgo on the horizon that might actually be pretty good for you and be a pretty transformative connection for you, Aquarius. But with the true node in the 7th house, a lot of you are moving into a significant relationship this month. So it could be that if you are just dating somebody, it becomes official. And that could be to do with the Leo new moon, where you set your intentions. You want this to be official. It's a beautiful time to manifest a partner into your life. If you're completely single, with the World and the Page of Cups, you could manifest a partner in this the new moon in Leo, because that is your partnership sector and that's where we set our intention. So you could manifest a love relationship, and it could be someone who is a Virgo sun, moon, or rising, or it could be someone with a lot of Virgo placements. I also feel like jeepers, just knocked Virgo off the... Sorry, Virgo, I just knocked you away. I don't know where you've gone. It could also be that you're meeting somebody in Virgo season, if not this season. So it could be Virgo season before a relationship is solidified or takes a significant new direction in your life. But with the 7th house as well, it can ruin relationships and business partnerships. Some of you could be attracting a business partnership in Virgo season, or clients in Virgo season that could be part of your destiny with the World, but could just also be something that's very beneficial to your business. Let's see if I have anything else. Sun in Leo. Yep, that is the season. Sun, Leo in the 6th house. So with your 6th house, Aquarius, this could also be saying to focus on how you're feeling physically this month as well during Leo season. Look after your body is another thing that's coming up for you. And also you could be attracting helpful people in work. And also if you want to set an intention with the Leo new moon to get in better shape or get in better health, this might be something that also works for you, especially if you are a late degree Leo. This could be something that's happening for you. And also with the World and the Page of Cups, there could be a late degree Leo, a late degree Aquarius. This could be something working for you. So the Sun in Leo is going to be a time that is going to be very Very interesting for your work life. I actually think with some of you, I am getting the strong impression that you want to go into a new job that maybe has more helpfulness to it. Like you want to help people, or you want to help kids in some capacity. But yeah, that is what I got for you, Aquarius. There is an extended part to this reading where we get more in depth to the different zodiac signs you could be dealing with and all that good stuff. It's linked below if you want to join me there. And if not, I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey Pisces, welcome to your August predictions. So Pisces, your cards have two really distinctive stories in them. So the first one is the true love card and the soulmate card. For a lot of you, you're going to be experiencing a really beautiful time in terms of relationships and true love. Now this is because we have a stellium in Virgo, we have the sun moving into Virgo this month, we have Mercury, which rules your relationships, moving into Virgo, and Venus, the planet of love, going through your 7th house of relationships, and Mars going through your relationship sector. So with all this in mind, forming positive trines to Uranus in your 3rd house, there could be really beautiful news for you this month in terms of your relationship. So this could be that you are meeting somebody really very special. It could be that you're with your soulmate and there could be significant news related to a soulmate. You could be moving in together, or you could be committing to the next part of your journey, or you could be realizing somebody is the one, or you could be attracting in your true love at this time. But in terms of the true love card and the soulmate card, there is beautiful energy happening in your romantic sector. So if you're single, look out. And if you are in a relationship, this is a beautiful omen that things are only going to get better. There might be some friction this month because of Mercury and Mars going conjunct in your 7th house. So there could be hurt words at times, but that's happening for everybody. It just could be that people are more critical, or people say something that could be a bit hurtful or something like this. But for the most part, you have a lot of pleasant surprises angled towards your 7th house. So the other story going on here is that some of you are experiencing a bit of anxiety, and I think it could be to do with work, career, or practical matters such as money, such as finances, such as your career path, such as what you want to study. Could be study, it could be you're having anxiety surrounding what you're going to do with your day-to-day schedule, or it could be health. For a lot of you, it feels like your brain is clouded by anxious thinking in some ways, and you need to figure out habits this month on how to fix that, because the axis that is highlighted for you in such a strong way, Pisces, is your 6th and 12th house, which is your mental health and your emotional health. So for you, with the sun going through your 6th house, this is about establishing a better routine for yourself, better self-care. You know, say you decide that you want to wake up at 6 in the morning, you want to meditate, you want to journal gratitude, you want to go for a run, you want to eat fruit, you want to shower, and then you want to start your work at a certain time. You could be really drawn to that sort of thing. You could be drawn to picking up healthier habits, healthier schedules. You could really want to work on something, work on your physical body. A lot of you could be working through different fitness levels for yourself. You could really be committing to a fitness or health journey to look after yourself, Pisces. And this might be something that's actually very necessary for your mental health. I know that a lot of people hate hearing that, but the astrology of it, obviously I can't give you psychological advice, but the astrology of it is that the 6th and the 12th house are linked and need to be balanced. So with the full moons in Aquarius and Jupiter back in your 12th house, a lot of you need to pay attention not only to your physical health and your well-being, but your emotional, mental health. And if you're experiencing anxiety or depression or something that's really not letting you live your best life around the full moon in Aquarius, you're going to figure out a way to get help or to work on that. And that's not to make you feel scared if you're not dealing with these things. For some people, it's as simple as giving up smoking. For other people, it's as simple as figuring out how to stop self-sabotaging, listening to how you talk to yourself, noticing your habits and how they're making you feel a certain way, and taking accountability and responsibility for what you can change and what you can control. One of the things that's very clear to me about you, Pisces, with these cards is that because you're maybe quite preoccupied with what's not going well, or what you're feeling, or past issues or things that you didn't think were still bothering you, what's kind of apparent to you is that you're at a bit of a crossroads. Some of you have a couple of opportunities in the horizon that you can't see yet. So one of the things that I'm seeing is that the Aquarius full moon is going to present some kind of opportunity for you in terms of work. You could be wrapping up a project, you could be receiving a job offer, you could be headhunted for a particular job or something like this, because with the adjacent possibilities card, the Nine of Swords and the Moon, I see an opportunity for Pisces to either study, to do a test, to do an interview, to do an entrance exam, to get an offer, to get something, you know, like a scholarship or an internship or anything that is like a new start with finances or career or something like this. I see it coming to you after the full moon, and it's not something that you can see. So I feel like there's something on the horizon that's not been made clear to you yet. So let's roll your astro dice and see what we get. Okay. Yes, your finances are really going to improve, Pisces. We have Venus in the second house here. So I do see an opportunity for you on the horizon to make more money, to get a new source of income, a new asset. Some of you are going to be receiving a gift as well this month. And some of you are also going to be getting an offer of education if you're looking for that. I do see as well with the second house in Sagittarius, some of you need to be careful of being careless with money or just giving money away. I know that you're a very charitable soul, but just be careful of that. I do see with Venus in the second house, your money is going to improve. With Sagittarius in the second house, you may be spending money this month on travel or a trip, or you may have more money than you expected for a trip. Let's see what else we get. Okay, Jupiter in the sixth house. Yes, your work and finances. Oh, Taurus as well. Jupiter and Taurus. Pisces. Your money's about to improve. You've got money on the horizon. Your finances are going to improve. Your work is going to improve. Some of you are attracting a job that could be linked to a better salary or finances. It could be linked to anything Taurus or Venusian, like beauty, fashion. It could be linked to makeup, aesthetics, but it could also be linked to banking, finances, accountancy, or it could just be that it's going to give you solid foundations with Taurus being there. So I feel like for a lot of you, the astro dice are really clear that there's an opportunity coming for you that you can't see. Some of you might have already started a new job or be starting a new job around this time, or if you're in solid work, it may be that you're very anxious about how you're perceived, because South Node is going through your 10th house, meaning that you're not the obvious candidate for things a lot of the time, but the work that you do behind the scenes is going to pay off. And I feel like the work you've done behind the scenes is going to come out with Jupiter conjunct the full moon. So you could have a project offered to you or a promotion or something like this that doesn't feel grandiose, but it's important and it is going to help you in the long run, Pisces. Yes, Uranus, fourth house, and Pisces. So in terms of your home life, Pisces, I feel like some of you could have been going through something chaotic. Some of you could have made changes in residency this year, maybe that you didn't want to make, or that you did want to make, but there was something unexpected or short notice or significant changes around it, or there's chaos surrounding your home or family life. This is asking you to focus on you. It's asking to focus on what it is that you truly want in terms of home, and to remember that if things are chaotic in that area, just remember that as quickly as things change, they can change just as quickly to something good. And also, if you are with the fourth house here, healing from past events, I think with the square between Uranus and your 12th house, because Saturn's in your 12th house with Uranus squaring that, I think a lot of you are letting go of holding back how you speak and how you communicate and what your interests are. A lot of you with this full moon and the Page of Pentacles are going to be asked to step into sharing your truth, sharing your perspective, sharing your interests, talking about stuff you like to talk about, and not being so apologetic, because some of you are really finding it hard to express yourself because you're scared of rejection. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to get a lot of romantic support this month. So it could be that you're getting romantic support from a partner that's making you feel better about being who you are. Yeah, you have changes coming up in your work life for sure. And your day-to-day responsibilities, but also your health. A lot of you are going to get really sporty this month as well, like really into fitness. But in terms of your romantic life, there is a lot of promise, and I do feel like a lot of you are either with your soulmate or are soon going to meet a soulmate. But there's a lot of true love, romantic energy. So some of you might find with the true love and the soulmate card that there is the next step in love. There is the next step in romance. There is something beautiful coming to you in romance, basically. See if I can get anything about the romantic part before we go. Oh my goodness. 7th house Libra and the South Node. Oh my goodness, this is a soulmate. Okay, 7th house Libra. Some of you could be marrying your soulmate. Some of you could be getting engaged. Some of you could be finding when Venus moves into Libra, there's a significant next step in your relationship. But with the South Node in the 7th house, I think whoever you're with now, or you're just about to meet, you may have been married in a past life. Weird enough, but you might have been married in a past life. But with the 7th house and Libra, there is a strong theme of partnership, marriage, and the next step in romantic relationships. So Pisces, if you want to join me in the extended, that is linked below, and if not, I will see you soon. Bye bye.